Greetings and salutations, peeps. All right, I appreciate you guys joining me here today for Soul Food Sundays. And today is how to stop using Monday as your rescue plan. So, as always, gratitude for joining me here from Instagram, Facebook, Skool, and also YouTube. All right, appreciate you, appreciate you. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it. But no, to answer some of your questions that are kind of coming in, this ain't about mac and cheese or candied yams or cornbread, any of those kind of thing. Okay, this is true soul food. All right, this is the kind of soul food that kind of feeds the parts of you that food cannot touch. Okay, so this is about your mind, your emotions, your nervous system, and your truth. And tonight, I want to talk to you about something that many people don't realize that they're addicted to. And it's not food, it's actually starting over. Okay? Not food, but a lot of you guys are addicted to starting over because some of you guys don't really have a true food problem. You actually have a reset addiction problem. And so every Monday, you tell yourself, this week is going to be different. Anybody ever said that before? Right? Okay. This week is going to be different, right? And then by Wednesday, you're kind of negotiating with yourself. By Friday, what happens? You start rewarding yourself, right? Okay. And then by today, on Sundays, you feel guilty all over again. And then Monday, starting all over once again, right? That cycle is really truly exhausting if you think about it. And so tonight, we are going to break that cycle. All right. So, somewhere along the way, Monday became kind of holy in a way. Okay. Monday became like the day of redemption. It became the day that you try to fix everything, the day that you become disciplined, right? The day that you become better. But here's the thing about all of that: when Monday becomes your rescue plan, Sunday actually becomes your escape plan. So, really think about it. Really think about that. Okay? Sunday becoming your escape plan. So, what do people say? I'm going to enjoy myself this weekend. Have you guys ever said that before? Right. So, what does that really mean? You really are about to disconnect from your true self because Monday is waiting and you give yourself permission to kind of abandon yourself, right? That's really deep when you really truly think about it. So, Monday ain't the problem, it's your relationship with Monday, which is the true problem. Because if every Monday feels like a restart, then that just means that something keeps ending. And you guys tell me, why do you think that is? Tell me why you think that is. Why do you keep leaving yourself? That's honestly the real question. Why do you keep leaving yourself? So make sure you ask yourself the real questions or the right questions. Not what diet should I do? No, we're not doing that. Ask yourself, why do you keep abandoning yourself? Okay. So let me tell you guys something. Most eating ain't about hunger. Okay. Once again, it's about relief: relief from stress, relief from structure, relief from pressure, relief from heaviness, loneliness, boredom, disappointment. And food often becomes like this emotional anesthesia type of a thing. Does that sound about right? That seem like okay? So, if nobody taught you how to kind of regulate your emotions, just meaning make them feel pretty normal and pretty even keel, right? Instead of that, we learn how to soothe. And soothing can often look like food, snacks, drive-throughs, right, wine, sugar, late night snacking. And it's not, again, most people just get down on themselves because they feel like they're weak. But it's just basically an adaptation. And that's the part that truly matters. Is what are you adapting to? And if you're adapting to food being your rescuer every single time, then how is that working out for you? Okay? That's what the focus should be. Okay? Because again, if that has worked before, you're probably hurting right now. And that's okay. It's time to get honest with yourself. Okay? Because sometimes the thing that has comforted you before may be the thing that becomes controlling over you. And that's not about shame. That is just about awareness. And that's what this whole entire thing is about. So I need you to hear this. You're not starting over. You're actually continuing. Okay? So even after a setback, even after a binge, even after emotional eating or a rough week, that's still part of your journey. And there's nothing wrong with that because it's part of your journey. But most people think that, oh, I messed up. No, you're just gathering data. And there's a big difference because failure says, I can't do this. But data says, that's interesting. What happened there? What can I learn from this? And those are the right questions that change everything. Okay? So instead of guilting yourself more, ask better questions. Ask questions like, well, what happened? What was that feeling that I just went through? What just triggered me? It could be a smell, it could be a person walking by, it could be just a random thought. And I say random figuratively because nothing is random. Everything is right on time, okay? But ask yourself, what is it that you're needing? What is it that you're avoiding? That is growth. That's emotional maturity. That's the soul work that we're here to do every single Soul Food Sunday. Okay. So now I want you to ask yourself, and you guys know every time you come to my lives, you want to bring some pen and pad with you. Okay. Because if you're really ready to figure this emotional eating out, you want to write down these questions. This is the only way to actually get over that hump. So you won't stop starting over every single Monday. Okay? So here's a few things that I want you to ask yourself. What is it that you're trying to fix on Monday? What is it that you're always trying to fix on Monday? Is it your body? Is it your habits? Is it your emotions, your guilt, your shame, your broken promises to yourself or to other people? And let's go even deeper. What keeps you breaking during the week? What keeps you breaking your promises during the week? Is it stress? Is it boundaries? Loneliness, again, that comes up quite often? The rest you feel like you really truly need? The peace? Because food is rarely the beginning. It's really rarely the beginning. Food is usually how we respond to life. Food is so much of a big influencer of how we are reacting to things that are around us. So I want you to sit with those things, and that is how you begin to fix your emotional eating. So I want you to stop either worshiping Monday or fearing Monday. Because a lot of times people can find themselves on Sunday nights either, snacking overtime because they are afraid to face Monday or they know what Monday is bringing, or they're getting ready to start over again and start cleaning out the pantry or cleaning out the shelf. And as you guys see, usually my fruit stand is full of fruits, but it's empty now because I'm about to travel. So it's empty. So I obviously wouldn't want to buy some fruit and have it go bad by the time I get back. But you don't need Monday to save you, is my point. Okay? You need you. You need today, you need tonight, you need right now. because healing doesn't start on Monday. It starts in moments. It starts in choices, in awareness. One of the biggest places it starts in honesty with yourself. So, in pausing before reacting, this week I don't want you to focus on perfection. Never do I want you to focus on perfection, no matter what day of the week it is. But this week right now, I want you to focus on your awareness. That is how you start, because you can't change what you don't see. So if you mess up, no saying, well, forget it, I'm going to start over on next Monday. No, pause right there in the middle of it and then start right again just at that moment. Don't wait for another day. Don't wait for another week or another year. Start again at that moment. Not even starting again. Let me take that word out. Not again, but start, pick back up where you dropped off. Just keep going. That should be your new standard. And if nobody told you today, you are doing better than you think you are. If nobody told you, if you haven't told yourself, you're doing better than you think you are. Protect your peace tonight. And I will see you guys tomorrow tomorrow is membership only Mondays in our school, but it's free right now. I open it up back free so you guys can jump in and get some deeper work. Okay? If you truly want to help over your emotional eating, you join me inside my private school, and it's free. You can't lose anything. Okay? Now, I'm going to open this up just for a couple more minutes for some questions or some comments. And you guys let me know how I can help you. Okay. All right. Thank you. Nora, I appreciate your comment. Hello, everybody that's in YouTube. Gavin, what's up? What's up? What's up? All right. Any questions on Facebook, Instagram, people in my school? All right. Somebody asked Dr. Denise, why do I do good all week and then lose it on the weekends? Well, wow. Okay. That's a great question. I want to make sure you guys heard me. One person asked, why do I do good all week and then lose it on the weekends? That's a phenomenal question. And of course, I don't know you personally, but I'm pretty sure you're asking a general question. And this is pretty common, okay? Essentially, what happens is that the weekends often expose what the week pretty much distracted you from. So Monday through Friday is pretty structured, right? For most people, again, you have work, you have responsibilities, you've got schedules, you've got deadlines, things of that nature. But then for most people, by the weekend, that noise kind of dies down. And then what usually rises up? The stress, the loneliness, the boredom, the fatigue. So what looks like falling off is often your nervous system reaching for relief. And do you guys know what professionals mean by nervous system regulation? Because I know that can be a technical term if you're not really thinking about anatomically how the body is really set up. But just really picture, if you can remember back in grade school, where the diagram of the little looks more like a white man with red and blue lines going throughout the body. He's just standing anatomically correct with his palms out and arms down, right? And so really, again, the nervous system makes up the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves. And the nerves run all over through the body, like it's everywhere, okay? So if there's anything that sets you off, your whole entire body is going to feel it. Even if you have you're used to the stress that goes on in your life, doesn't matter. The rest of your body knows and feels like it's in danger. So again, a lot of times we are reactive and reaching for snacks because it, in a way, calms some people down or just makes them feel good in the moment. Okay? So that's why I teach people to stop judging the behavior and start studying it. Your weekend habits are telling you something deep. And if you want to actually start answering your body, you got to listen. Start learning the language that your body is talking to you in. Okay. So, getting night sweats or hot flashes, which, it's easy to label that as menopause, especially if you're a woman of a certain age. But don't let the world tell you and just say, oh, that's what this is. Boom, we're going to put that on the shelf because we know what it is. No, that's actually not normal. It's very common, but it's not normal at all. Your body should not be dysregulated like that. Just because you are of a certain age, you should not you should not be getting hot flashes. You shouldn't have painful cycles. You shouldn't have heavy bleeding. That is not okay. Okay? That means your body's trying to tell you what you're putting in it and possibly on it and in your environment is we don't like it. So what can we do to change this? Instead, we just keep ignoring it and putting it on the shelf in this box like, oh, I'm 51, so that's what this is. I just got to get through it. No, not normal, not okay. Stop letting people, no matter if they've got a white coat on or not, a stethoscope around their neck, tell you that this is X, Y, and Z, be like, and take these pills, call me in the morning. No, that's not okay. If you don't like it, and you know your body is responding to you in a way that feels uncomfortable, let's start doing something about it. And again, there's a lot that I can't really say out in the broad open, but you can join me in my school for free, and I'll start letting you know what your body is really trying to tell you. Okay? Good question. All right, next question. How do I stop emotional eating when food is the only thing that makes me feel better? Woo. All right, let me ask that again. I'm going to read that again. How do I stop emotional eating when food is the only thing that makes me feel better? All right, so first of all, let's start telling the truth. Again, I'm all about honesty here, okay? Now, food may make you feel better, but how long does it make you feel better? Could be 10 minutes, could be 30 minutes, could be an hour, but whatever it is, it's very temporary, because if it always made you feel better, you wouldn't start stopping over all the time, okay? So that's why that habit can be very powerful. So the question is, does it actually solve the problem, or does it cause more pain? That's why we call it habit looping, because there's a difference. If every hard emotion gets fed, your emotional muscles will never grow. And healing requires emotional strength. But start small. Start small. Before eating, I want you to pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Ask yourself, what are you feeling right now? Not what do I want to eat? What do you want to feel? Because a lot of times we're doing things where we're actually reaching for the feeling. And that's with either you smoke, either you drink, you're looking for something outside of yourself to give you a feeling of what you remember from the last time you did it. So those are the questions that can really change your whole entire life. We got to start asking better questions. So I appreciate that question, but we can always go deeper. Okay. All right. All right. Wow. It's almost that time. I'm going to answer one more question. What do I do if I already messed up this week? I had to take a sip on that one. I'm sorry. All right. Let me ask again. What do I do if I already messed up this week? All right. Just being blunt. Let's stop calling it messing up. Let's stop calling it messing up, because language matters, right? So, did you eat something that you said you wouldn't do? Okay, cool. What happened before that? What happened before that? Write that down so the next time it comes up for the urge for you to reach towards something that you said you weren't going to eat anymore, what happened right before that? Then you want to ask yourself, what are you feeling? What are you feeling is the next question. Then you might want to ask, who are you around? Or at least observe, who are you around? And write that down. Because when you want to go back, you want to see if there's any recurring instances where the same thing keeps happening over and over again. It's like, oh, X keeps happening, this person is around, then I want to reach for this. You can start to see some patterns, okay? So what is the story that you're telling yourself? That's the work. It's not about punishment. It's not about, starving on Monday and then getting back on track, all this kind of stuff. No, you're actually learning. You're looking at the data, okay? Learning the detours. The goal, not perfection, but trying to figure out why. And if you've been here before, you've heard me say cravings are all of a sudden. True hunger, that is gradual, okay? So if you have something very specific that you want at a very specific time, that is a craving, and your body is like, okay, I want to remember when it was like, during my childhood, when times were safe, when I wasn't had to adult all the time with all these bills and stress. I want to go back to ice cream on Sundays with my dad and my sister and my mom. That's what your body's asking for, is really relief. So if you had ice cream today, would that really solve all your problems? Of course not. We can't go back in time, but we can just close our eyes and think about the memories of those days without the food. You don't have to take the food with you. Just close your eyes, smile, give off the positive energy, and just remember the times where you felt safe. Is there someone that you can call today to, talk about those old times? There's somebody that I follow on Instagram. I'm so sorry, I do not remember their handle, but it's memories of the 80s. She posts a lot of things about kids will never understand what we went through in the 80s. Some funny stuff like getting your radio out and you having to press record and play, and all these buttons that we had to do just to record our favorite song to hear it when we wanted to hear it, and stuff like that. Just kind of funny, and it's interesting to go back. And something that I've kind of been watching lately is Degrassi Junior High. Any Degrassi Junior High fans out there? That was an amazing show. I watched that. I was actually in junior high when that show was popular, or when it came out. And the colors of their school were the colors of my middle school. And it just brings back a lot of memories. It's just great to see. Now, a lot of the stuff the kids went through, I could never imagine. And I don't remember half of those stories and like living those kind of things then. I'm like, oh my gosh, the abortions and the suicide and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, I couldn't imagine thinking about those kind of things at 12, 13, 14 years old. But yeah, everybody's junior high and high school experience was not the most positive. And I get that. Those are the kind of things that make me understand now, like through my practice, is that everybody has different experiences. And I used to be hard on people when it came to, their food. I'm like, look, I'm telling you, this food is killing you, and da 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 da, or unaliving you. I'm sorry, but you got to stop eating it, and it's just not that easy. So that's why I have therapy as part of my step-by-step program. That's why I have consultations with our master herbalists in our step-by-step program. That's why I have so many videos about so many different variations in my step-by-step program, because everybody's different. But everything that I cover in the program, it's gonna hit you hard, because I've just taken the data of what most people go through daily, even if you're the most boring person like myself, or everything is just kind of up and down every minute of the day, like other people, the program is going to affect you in a way that is like, oh, this is how it is to like just be happy every day, be happy every Monday. You know, it cracks me up when people are like, oh, TGIF, da da da. It's like TGIF. It's every day is Friday to me, but you gotta get there, okay? So I'm not browbeating anybody, but you gotta allow yourself to get there, but you have to do the work. I can't stress that enough. All right. Oh, all right. Here's one more question. What do I do when I'm depressed that all I want to do is isolate myself in bed? All right, Miss. Well, I don't know if you want me to say your name, but I appreciate this question, and that requires a deeper dive. Okay, so I want to get to know you and your situation. So if you want to join me in my school, I would love to just give you a free consultation and let's just talk about it. Okay, because I don't want to give you like some, dry fluff. I really want to help. And that's anybody that's listening right now. You can click on, or go to Dr. Denise Thinks, my website, drdenisетhinks.com, and go to the contact us page. And then you can click on free consultation. And I'll give you a 30-minute consultation. And so I can actually really truly help you. All right. I really appreciate you taking that first step to ask and see what you can do. Okay. That's the first step. And I definitely want to help. Okay. So 451, that's the last part of your handle. Hopefully I see from you or hear from you. And let's just get this rolling. Okay. I want to help. I do. So you guys keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep going forward. And I promise you, every day does not have to feel so bad and dark and gloomy. It's all right here. So let's make sure that we keep feeding the body the fuel that it needs to want to take the step after step after step. Okay? Allow me to help you love the foods that help you keep healthy up here. Because there's some foods that are all around us that keep us in this dark place. So we want to make sure that we keep upbeat, okay? One study I remember reading probably 15 plus years ago, there was a woman that was uh, in like a sane asylum or whatever they call those places, little dark places or whatever, where they, wrap you up, all that kind of. I don't try to keep that kind of stuff in my head too much, but I'm just picturing this woman who was in this dark room by herself. She was in isolation, and she was just feeling down, depressed. I don't like to use labels, but she was just feeling really, really down. She didn't want to go outside. She didn't lift the shades up. Um, just always to herself. She didn't say much when the nurse practitioners came in, all that kind of stuff. She didn't want to talk to anybody. And then guess what happened? They fed her 4 bananas because that was the only thing that she even thought about eating. They tried to give her all kind of food, cooked food, fried this, fried that, whatever. Then they just left some bananas in there. She started to eat the bananas, and guess what? Within days, she was like livening up again, bringing color to her face again. Isn't that amazing? It's amazing what fruit can do. That's why they keep trying to. Anyway, yeah. So feed the body the minerals that it needs. Get yourself some sea moss. Shout out to Crush Foster and Tyrisha Nelson, Tyrica Nelson. If you want to get whole or a good deal on uh, whole sea moss, like at a whole discount. What do you call it? I can't even think of it. But yeah, if you want to get an individual size, get it from Crush Foster. If you want the whole amount, whole, I can't think. Anyway, large amounts at one time, I would suggest getting it from Tyrisha Nelson. They are great people that I would trust. I get my sea moss from myself, and I trust those two. Okay, get you guys some sea moss. Get the minerals that your body is asking for, and that's what helps you keep from snacking and over snacking and overeating, because you're feeding your body the true foods that it really needs. All right. Hope to see some of you guys on the free consultation. I'd love to help you. And if I can't, then there's somebody in my ecosystem that probably can. But you got to take the first step. Okay. All right. I hope to see you guys soon. Talk to you later. Hi, hi. All right.